Gary Gensler and the SEC takes another L. Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Listen, the market is just doing what the market does. We're going to go over the numbers. We got Hester Peirce from the SEC and the other commissioner dude in conjunction filing letters of dissent in the recent enforcement action. That's not really an enforcement action. It's just an administrative action. The SEC is a mess. And I just could not be happier. We're going to go over the numbers. Look, a little bit of infighting going on in the XRPL community. A little bit of infighting. You know, we said it on this channel months ago. We were doing videos, doing drive time videos about this as well. Look, Wrath Economan had a very interesting tweet that pointed to that very fact, and I retweeted that tweet. Look, the direction of the XRPL is changing. The direction for the XRPL is changing in terms of who is going to be leading the direction of the XRPL. So the XRPL Foundation did a little interesting tweet. Well, maybe we'll cover it. I think I have it. It's interesting. Anyway, the new XRPL side chain is going to be called Zahao Network, and it's going to have hooks in it when it does launch. We'll go over that a little bit. But the big news: look, Crypto Law shared the court documents from the L that was taken by the SEC, and more importantly, it was taken by Gary Gensler. And we're gonna go over that for sure. So look, I'm gonna be reading some stuff to you guys. So bear with me. I think it's important because the way the court laid it out is very, very telling on why they came to the conclusion. They essentially unblocked or undid whatever the SEC did in the Grayscale ETF bid, which essentially means they're gonna have to come up with some other BS excuse for why you're not approving this their Bitcoin ETF. So, you know, the SEC is in trouble, but the SEC is good. I mean, they're great at just coming up with stuff, pulling stuff out there behind to make argument and go to court. But this is another L, and it's just going to lead to future L's. Coinbase is coming up. They're going to get a win as well. Gary Gensler's deal is done, and his political aspirations might be done just as well. It all depends on who the next administration is going to be. So we'll get into that as well. But I want to look, the L is the L, baby. We're going to get into that. Shout out to Crypto Law TV for sharing that. And oh, by the way, Brad Garlinghouse has put the word out on the street. The Ripple Party, the XRP, I don't know, whatever party is going to happen in New York, September 29th in New York City. Party for the community, baby. Interesting. I don't know if we'll be able to go. Hopefully, we will be able to get to that. September 29th, hopefully, we'll be able to get to that. That's coming up, isn't it? That's coming up. Hopefully, we'll be able to get to that. That'll be really, really cool. Let's get into the numbers because the market is responding to the L from the SEC. Look, you know, the market is still doing what it does, but it's responding. Total cryptocurrency market cap, according to CoinGecko, is 1.15 trillion. Coal Bitcoin dominance is still 46%. Coal Bitcoin is at $27,952. So about $1,500, $1,600 jump because of this news. It doesn't change the market though. It's good to see some greens on the 7-day, but it doesn't change anything. Ethereum is at $1,735. An XRP is trading at 53, almost 54 cents. But again, guys, listen, the market is doing what it does. Oh, by the way, I did come across a strategy and for us to be able to kind of look at this market, know when to get into the alts. You know what the Crypto Siege has been saying on the channel, like, what's the strategy moving forward? And I finally found it. I can't wait to share with you guys. I probably will share with you guys later tonight. The strategy just makes sense. When do you get into alts? And which alts do you get in? When did you get into Bitcoin and Ethereum? When did you get into USDT? Strategy has been revealed. I am going to pay to play to learn so that it makes sense, so that I can share with you guys. Can't wait to freaking do that. So there it is. That's the market. It's just doing what it does, fam. Shout out to Crypto Law TV for this. This is the judgment from the court, right? And so I'm not going to go through all of this, but I do want to point out the big mistakes in this thing here. And I'm sure Fred Rispoli and Jon Deon and perhaps even Legal Briefs, Jeremy Hogan and the gang will do as well. This is what the court says. The commission concluded that Grayscale, like every other proposed Bitcoin ETP, failed to meet both prongs of the significant market test. By contrast, the commission found that the significant market test satisfied for Valkyrie and Tecurium Bitcoin futures. The different application of the significant market requirement is at the core of Grayscale's arbitrary and capricious challenge. The court says we take each prong in turn. The commission found Grayscale failed the first prong of the significant market requirement because there was not a reasonable likelihood that a person attempting to manipulate, in other words, Grayscale, would have to trade on the CME. On the other hand, the commission found it was unnecessary, quote unquote, for the Bitcoin futures ETPs to establish a would-be manipulator would have to trade on the CME. Tecurium and NASDAQ evidence of whether there was a reasonable likelihood that a would-be manipulator of the proposed ETP would have to trade on the CME. Did not prevent approval. According to the commission, this showing was unnecessary for the Bitcoin futures ETP because their only holdings are securities traded directly on the surveilled exchange. Grayscale maintains it should be treated the same as the Bitcoin futures ETPs, despite the fact that its holdings do not trade on the CME. That's the long and the short of it. Grayscale has the same economic risk as the future ETPs, and so a surveillance sharing agreement with the CME should have similar fraud prevention capabilities. Therefore, Grayscale reasons it should also be exempt from the first prong. Under the first prong of the significant market test, the commission failed to provide necessary, reasonable, and coherent explanation. And again, this speaks, in my humble opinion, to what Judge Netburn said about the SEC in the SEC versus Ripple case. Right? Like the lawyers from the SEC are not displaying any faithful allegiance to the law. They're just not, right? That's why, in quotation, the court says, under the first prong of the significant market test, the commission failed to provide the necessary, reasonable, and coherent explanation. In other words, can you share something that makes any kind of sense? Reasonable and coherent explanation for its inconsistent treatment of similar products. The commission never explained why Grayscale owning Bitcoins rather than Bitcoin futures affects the CME's ability to detect fraud. While the commission asserted that owning assets not traded on the surveilled exchange was a significant difference and proclaimed that there was reason to question whether surveillance sharing agreement with the CME would, in fact, assist in detecting and deterring fraudulent manipulative misconduct affecting the price of the spot Bitcoin held by the ETP. It provided no support for these claims. Grayscale, however, provided evidence that CME Bitcoin future prices are 99% correlated with the spot market prices. Based on that data, fraud in the spot market would present identical problems for a Bitcoin ETP and a Bitcoin futures ETP. Bitcoin futures are derivatives of Bitcoin, and as long as the market is efficient, arbitrage will drive the prices together. The court again says the commission neither disputed Grayscale's evidence that the spot and futures markets for Bitcoin are 99% correlated, nor suggested that the market inefficiencies or other factors would undermine the correlation. The commission faults Grayscale for failing to provide other types of evidence without further explanation. However, the commission's assertion that information in the record for this filing does not support the claim that any fraud or manipulation in the underlying spot market will affect the products in the same way is unreasonable. The commission's unexplained discounting of the obvious financial and mathematical relationship between the spot and futures market falls short of the standard for reasoned decision-making. That's just one brawl. The court just laid into the SEC. Just one freaking prong of this market test. Just one. Unfreaking believable. Let me why is that not there now? That's very, very interesting. So Jon Deon has some things. Is it here? What is this? Jon Deon has some interesting things to say as well, right? And Jake Trinsky, let me cover that first. He said, Grayscale's victory at SEC is massive. It's very rare for a federal court to find that an agency has violated the APA by acting arbitrarily and capriciously. The DC Circuit just delivered a huge embarrassment for the SEC, but the ETF isn't approved yet. A huge embarrassment for the SEC. Look, I'm not sure if this current administration can take any more L's from their guy, Gary Gensler. I'm not sure they can. Jake Trinsky goes on to post here. The DC Circuit soundly rejected the SEC's view that the Grayscale ETF proposal was not designed to prevent fraud and manipulative acts and practices. The SEC has spent a full decade denying spot Bitcoin ETF proposals under this reasoning. That era has now come to an end, but the court didn't order the SEC to approve Grayscale's ETF proposal. It just said that the SEC's analysis on the fraud and manipulation issue was wrong. Now the SEC has to go back and review Grayscale's proposal again with the court's ruling in mind. What will the SEC do? One theory is that the SEC would just pick a different reason to deny Grayscale's proposal and force more long and costly litigation. Of course they will. That's possible. It's hard to understate the extreme hostility of SEC leadership toward crypto. Will Chair Gensler really accept this loss? No. It doesn't cost that dude anything. I think whatever they got to do to not approve it is what they're going to do until they get the word from above, right? Until the red phone rings. Gary's just going to continue with this nonsense. What else we got going on? What else did he say here? But another theory is that the SEC will take the DC Circuit decision as a graceful exit from their anti-ETF position. I'm in this camp. It's the right move. Well, that's a good point. I didn't think about the fact that Grayscale has put something into motion, right? So Gary, this is a good point. Gary will be able to say, look, there's been a court ruling, and we feel like Grayscale is going to obviously do better in their fraud and manipulation stuff than, not Grayscale, that BitRock. I don't know what's going on right now. So that BlackRock surely will do a better job of their fraud and manipulation thing than Grayscale will. So surely, in being that the judge in the court ruled this way, it'll make it a lot easier for us to approve the Grayscale. And they might be all approved at the same time, so that it doesn't appear, to have any kind of nepotism, if you will. So I could see that. It says, quote unquote, we disagree, but we're following the rule of law is a convenient excuse to back out of a losing battle. Absolutely. We disagree. That's Gary Gensler. We disagree, but we're following the rule of law. It's a convenient excuse to back out of a losing battle. And I agree. That's where I think he's going to be. There will also be political pressure on the SEC to approve spot Bitcoin ETFs. This isn't just about Grayscale. All of TradFi is ready for the Bitcoin ETF. Many other issuers have proposed these ETFs this year, including BlackRock and Larry Fink throws heavy punches in DC. There it is. That's what's probably going to happen, right? They have a reason to gracefully back out. I didn't think about that one, but yeah, that makes sense. Let me cover this. I'm going to end with this. This from the XRPL Foundation. By the way, you early developers, you did this to yourselves. You did it to yourselves. You went to work for the company, right? You didn't form a DAO. You didn't create governance. And you went to work for a company working on an open, decentralized, public, permissionless blockchain. You decided to do that. Yeah. So anyway, hello, Zahao, says the XRP Ledger Foundation. In light of the release of the Zahao white paper by the Zahao Launch Alliance, we want to express our foremost gratitude to the Alliance for the tremendous support and trust in us. Secondly, this offers an excellent opportunity to reiterate our purpose. The XRP Ledger Foundation, as stated on our website, our 4 key focus areas are research and development, ensuring reliable access to the ledger, creating social impact, and fostering connections. These aspects shine through in our initiatives such as token self-assessments, forensics, XRP cluster, the publication of the UNL, development of trading, blah, blah, blah. The XRP Ledger Foundation represents the technology, not the token. Our goals and objectives are not centered on promoting XRP above all other tokens, but rather on supporting the XRPL protocol in its broader sense. This commitment applies to test nets, development networks, side chains, and even private chains for entire countries, as long as they align with our vision and key focus areas and place their trust in us. So, look, this is it's kind of like a backhanded slap, in my opinion. So there's a little bit of quote unquote infighting, if you will, but look, the developers did it to themselves. In my humble opinion, you made that decision to do that. You made a decision early in the day to go and work for a company, centralized company in the world of decentralization. That's what you did as developers. That's what Evan Schwartz did. That's what David Schwartz did. That's what Stefan Thomas did. For whatever the reason, you made a decision. So you chose whatever you chose that to be, security, I don't know, equity, and I don't know, but you chose to do it. And so in the early days, the XRPL ledger was, in fact, being directed by a company. That, my friends, is the fact, yeah. Let me share with Rap Kahneman shared, and I retweeted his tweet because it is 1000% correct. And this is what we've been saying in our drive time videos and some other videos, right? Because I titled the video, I think the video was Ripple for us or against us? I think that was the initial video. And then I brought up the point in that video. Well, maybe I just retweeted it. So let me go to Rapid Comment and share that with you guys, because what he says is 10,000% correct. And I want to make sure I share this with you guys. Oh, I got a lot of things going on here. All right, that's taking way too long. Let's just do. Oh, okay, it just goes. Let me read this to you because I think it's just really, really important. And I'm going to hop off here. There it is. He tweeted this out because he shared his excitement. He said he was excited about this Zahao launching, right? All right, let me find it here. Misinformation, the image is fake. Quick refresher, jogging memory. Here it is right here. I think this is so important. It says, the XRP Ledger Foundation, right, said, hello, Zhao. And Wrath Kahneman responded to that thing I just read to you. Exciting time as the XRPL Foundation comments on Zhao in light of the release of the Zhao white paper by the Zhao Launch Alliance. We want to express our foremost gratitude to the Alliance for their tremendous support and trust in us. Someone asked him in the comment, tell me what you are most excited about. And this was Daniel, who's the CTO of Eminence and an XRPL ambassador, is what he calls himself. This is what Wrath Kahneman said, and this is what I've been saying. I'm most excited about Evernote being able to spin up now. Right? Evernote just puts the hooks and the ability to do all kind of other extra stuff on a sidechain with hooks, on a ledger with hooks. He says, also extremely fascinated to see the contrasting approaches to network building that will run in parallel. Ripple's top-down approach, which within Ripple, there are XRPL developers. Ripple's top-down approach versus XRPL Labs' independent developer approach. He says high finance rails versus practical business applications. That's what we've been saying. We've been saying this on our videos that, like, who was driving the direction of the XRPL in the beginning? Let us not forget this Ripple X Dev and this freaking foundation. That stuff is recent. That's like 2 years, maybe 3, maybe. That didn't happen in 2012. No foundation, Ripple X Dev, and that was none of that. It was right. The XRPL was being driven by a company, right? That's what happened. And the XRPL Labs now, what they've done is we're going to drive this XRP Ledger in the direction that we think. I listened to an interesting Twitter Spaces last night, and Scott said something that's very, very important. He said that the XRPL currently it's a payments thing. Who made the decision to go in the direction of payments as opposed to smart contracts? Who made that decision? All right, let me tell you who didn't make the decision. A bunch of XRPL developers in some DAO or some governance mechanism. That's who didn't make the decision. Do you see what I'm saying? They didn't make that decision. It's important to know. And Scott is correct. Scott Chamberlain is correct. And I think he's from Evernote. He's absolutely correct that it's the XRPL network, XRPL Ledger is a payments thing currently in its form. It is not for biz and applications to come and hop on that thing, right? They got that thing in between them that says, oh, put the proposal in and then we'll see what's good. Put the proposal in and then we will see what's good. That's what Pete Say Win did. He put in a proposal for this hooks thing. David Schwartz, one dude, said, yeah, that's not going to be on mainnet anytime soon. Yeah. Remember the Crypto Eddie interview? Yeah, that's not going to be on mainnet anytime soon. Yeah. How is that? How do you know? You're just one guy. Right? So Pete Say Win is like, look, side chains, cool. This is what we'll do. Look, Ripple gets it. Ripple, they made a decision. And that's what the network is. The XRPL right now is a payments thing. They made that decision. They don't want to mess it up. So we'll give you these side chains. And what the mainnet is doing when they're looking at this new side chain is, all right, for us, it's a test network. To you, it may be a main network. But for us, let's see how these hooks work over here without messing up this payment thing. And I get it. They made a decision. Nothing you can do about it. But all these other projects got to wait for stuff because a company made a decision on an open, decentralized, permissionless blockchain. That's the facts, Jack. There it is, guys. All right, listen, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm in this video like I do all my videos. I hope you appreciated this XRP Ripple daily news in around 0 to 10 minutes. I hope it has been of value to you. If it has, do me a favor, hit that like button. And please don't forget to, if you've been hanging out watching the crypto series, please consider subscribing to the channel. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. I'm going to end this one. I could do all my videos and remind you guys of this, that old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya.